Penguin Random House Audio presents The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. Read for you by Nan Mcnamara. For Lucas and Felix, my own two loves, and for my grandmother Muriel Mower Cowley, whose fierce love never wavered. We look before and after, and pine for what is not. Our sincerest laughter with some pain is fraught. Our sweetest songs are those that tell of saddest thought. Percy Bysshe Shelley, To a Skylark. Book 1. L. Chapter 1. Today, August 1st, the Backwoods. 6:30 a.m. Things come from nowhere. The mind is empty, and then, inside the frame, a pear. Perfect, green, the stem atilt, a single leaf. It sits in a white ironstone bowl, nestled among the limes, in the center of a weathered picnic table, on an old screen porch, at the edge of a pond, deep in the woods, beside the sea. Next to the bowl is a brass candlestick, covered in drips of cold wax, and the ingrained dust of a long winter left on an open shelf. Half-eaten plates of pasta, an unfolded linen napkin, dregs of claret in a wine bottle, a breadboard, handmade, rough-hewn, the bread torn, not sliced. A mildewed book of poetry lies open on the table. To a Skylark, soaring into the blue, painful, thrilling, replays in my mind as I stare at the still life of last night's dinner. The world should listen then, as I am listening now. He read it so beautifully. For Anna. And we all sat there, spellbound, remembering her. I could look at him and nothing else for eternity and be happy. I could listen to him, my eyes closed, feel his breath and his words wash over me, time and time and time again. It is all I want. Beyond the edge of the table, the light dims as it passes through the screens before brightening over the dappled trees, the pure blue of the pond, the deep black shadows of the tupelos at the water's edge, where the reach of the sun falters this early in the day. I ponder a quarter-inch of thick, stale espresso in a dirty cup and consider drinking it. The air is raw. I shiver under the faded lavender bathrobe, my mother's, that I put on every summer when we return to the camp. It smells of her and of dormancy, tinged with mouse droppings. This is my favorite hour in the backwoods. Early morning on the pond, before anyone else is awake. The sunlight clear, flinty, the water bracing, the whippoorwills finally quiet. Outside the porch door on the small wooden deck, sand has built up between the slats. It needs to be swept. A broom leans against the screen, indenting it, but I ignore it and head down the little path that leads to our beach. Behind me, the door hinges shriek in resistance. I drop my bathrobe to the ground and stand naked at the water's edge. On the far side of the pond, beyond the break of pine and shrub oak, the ocean is furious, roaring. It must be carrying a storm in its belly from somewhere out at sea. But here, at the edge of the pond, the air is honey still. I wait, watch, listen. The chirping, buzzing of tiny insects. A wind that stirs the trees too gently. Then I wade in up to my knees and dive headlong into the freezing water. I swim out into the deep, past the water lilies, pushed forward by exhilaration, freedom, and an adrenaline rush of nameless panic. I have a shadow fear of snapping turtles coming up from the depths to bite my heavy breasts. Or perhaps they will be drawn by the smell of sex as I open and close my legs. I'm suddenly overwhelmed by the need to get back to the safety of the shallows, where I can see the sandy bottom. I wish I were braver. But I also love the fear, the catch of breath in my throat, my thrumming heartbeat as I step out of the water. I wring as much as I can from my long hair, grab a threadbare towel from the clothesline my mother has strung between two scraggly pines, lie down on the warm sand. An electric blue dragonfly lands on my nipple and perches there before moving on. An ant crawls over the Saharan dunes my body has just created in its path. Last night, I finally fucked him. After all these years of imagining it, never knowing if he still wanted me. And then the moment I knew it would happen. All the wine, Jonas's beautiful voice in ode, my husband Peter lying on the sofa in a grappa haze, my 3 children asleep in their cabin, my mother already at the sink, washing dishes in her bright yellow rubber gloves, ignoring her dinner guests. Our eyes lingered, 1 beat too long. I got up from the noisy table, took my underpants off in the pantry, and hid them behind the bread box. Then I went out the back door into the night. I waited in the shadows, listening to the sounds of plate, water, glass, silver, clunking together beneath the suds. Waited. Hoped. And then he was there. Pushing me up against the wall of the house, reaching under my dress. "I love you," he whispered. I gasped as he shoved himself into me. And I thought, now there is no turning back. No more regrets for what I haven't done. Now only regrets for what I have done. I love him. I hate myself. I love myself. I hate him. This is the end of a long story. 1966. December, New York City. I am screaming. I scream and gasp, until at last my mother realizes something is wrong. She races with me to the doctor's office, imagining herself Miss Clavel as she runs up Park Avenue, terrified, clutching her 3-month-old baby. My father is racing too, briefcase in hand, up Madison Avenue from the Fred F. French building. Thoughts stammering, afraid of his own impotence, now, as in everything he does. The doctor tells them there's no time. If they wait, the baby will die, and rips me from my mother's arms. On the operating table, he slices me open across the belly like a ripe watermelon. A tumor has snaked itself around my intestines, and a toxicity of shit has built up behind its iron grasp, pushing poison into my tiny body. The shit always builds up, and surviving it is the key. But this I will not learn for many years. While the doctor is inside me, he cuts off an ovary, careless, rushing to carve the death out of life. This, too, I will not learn for many years. When I do, my mother cries for me for the 2nd time. "I'm so sorry," she says. "I should have made him be more careful." As if she'd had the power to change my fate, but chosen not to use it. Later, I lie in a hospital cot, arms tied down at my sides. I scream, cry, alive, livid with rage at this injustice. They will not let my mother feed me. Her milk dries up. Almost a week passes before they free my hands from their shackles. "You were always such a happy baby," my father says. Afterward, my mother says, "You never stopped screaming." 7:30 a.m. I roll over onto my stomach, rest my head on my forearms. I love the salty, sweet way my skin smells when I've been lying in the sun. A nut gold, musky smell, as if I'm being cured. Down the path that leads from the main house to the bedroom cabins, I hear a quiet slam. Someone is up. Feet crunch on dry leaves. The outdoor shower is turned on. Pipes groan awake for the day.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?